So in this video, I want to share with you 4 pieces of advice that I wish someone told me when I first started my fitness journey. And looking back, if I knew this, it would have definitely shortened my learning curve, and most importantly, it would have given me reassurance that I'm on the right path. And sometimes that's all we really need to keep pushing through and eventually getting that breakthrough. So if you're in the early stages of your journey, here are 4 things you need to know, so let's dive right into it. So the way I see it, all it takes for you to achieve great results on this journey is to be very deliberate and specific with which habits you allow yourself to form. To put into perspective, let's say it's a random Thursday night, you don't feel like it, you decide to skip a workout, order a burger, have a couple of beers, and just watch the game. Doesn't seem like a big deal. And as a one-off or an occasion, it really isn't. But let's say that simple action turns into a habit. Now it's starting to happen weekly, then eventually it starts happening multiple times per week. Well, suddenly that action has gained a tremendous amount of power in your life and will have a massive impact on your results. Because we are simply a byproduct of the small choices we allow to become habits. I would go as far as to say that we don't get to directly decide the big results we're going to get in life. We only get to decide the small choices we make every day that add up to those big results. The next meal you're going to have, the next workout you're going to do, the next time you're going to hit the like button, the next time you're going to go to bed 30 minutes earlier to get enough sleep. This is where you have power and control. And then those little actions added up over time is what makes the difference between having a lean, muscular, athletic physique and overall happy life versus being out of shape, low energy, low productivity, and struggling to keep up. So if you want big changes in your life, don't get overwhelmed thinking you have to overhaul everything tomorrow. You want to start small, add a little bit more steps. Fix your diet, 1 meal at a time. Organize your schedule a little bit more so you can find time for training, get into bed on time. You don't have to fix everything at once. Just focus on fixing a little bit of something every day. Allow that to add up and become a habit, and that's how eventually you're going to have that great physique, and the best part about that is going to be sustainable long term. Now, the second piece of advice that I wish more people would talk about is just how bad we all are at judging our own progress. I remember in my first couple of fat loss phases, all I'd be thinking about is how small I'm getting, how much muscle I'm lacking, that I'm not going to be happy with my physique at the end of the cut because I'm going to be too skinny. And all I was doing is just thinking about that lean bulk that I have to do to put on more muscle. Then eventually when I did the lean bulk, all I'd be thinking is, I'm losing my abs, I'm not as lean as before, I need to do a cut, I'm getting fat too fast, and I'm focusing on the wrong key performance indicators. There's always this fear of missing out. Even to this day, now that I've been lean bulking for more than a year, I look at my pictures from last summer and then I finally realized just how shredded I was. And I remember last summer I was thinking, maybe I need to lose a little bit more body fat. And actually no, I was perfectly lean in the way I was supposed to be. And now after bulking for about a year, I finally realized how much progress I made when I started wearing some clothes from last summer and I realized they don't fit anymore. We're all very subjective when it comes to our physiques, and this is something we need to keep in mind when we're assessing our progress, because really big visual differences take a long time to manifest, and that's why during that time we want to focus on smaller changes, things like your body weight, tape measurements, your performance in the gym, your progress photos and videos. And ideally for those, you would have someone who's not you, who's not biased, to take a look at them. When you have that hard data in front of you, you can see what's working, what's not, and what you need to optimize. And when you see progress, it increases your commitment level, and that will lead to even better results. Compare this to what most people in the gym do. They don't track anything. They're just kind of mindlessly doing stuff and then wondering if anything is happening. Now, the third big lesson that I think all of us will eventually learn is that genetics play a really huge role when it comes to your results. I know plenty of guys who have been lifting for 2-3 years and they already have a physique that's way more impressive than what I've achieved in more than 10 years of doing this. Some of them don't even have to train as hard. Some of them can diet on 2,500 calories a day and get shredded. So the bottom line is if you don't have great genetics, you may as well just give up. There's no point in doing this. Now, jokes aside, even though genetics matter, it's a waste of time to worry about this because we can't control which genetics we get. We only get to control how much effort and dedication we put into this journey. And I like to see it as a challenge. Regardless of which cards you've been dealt, the goal is to maximize your own potential. And for me, it's way more impressive to see someone with quote-unquote bad genetics who has gotten 80-90% to their potential compared to that person with great genetics who has only gotten 10-20% there. And maybe that person at 20% looks better than this other person at 80%. But that effort is really what counts, because at the end of the day, it's you versus you. You're the one who's breaking your own limits. And if you have to work harder to get to a goal, great. At least then we're getting those mental and those discipline gains, which we can then leverage in other areas of life. So if you're starting from scratch, don't get discouraged if you don't look like your favorite fitness influencer after a year of doing this. Impressive physiques take 5 to 10 years or longer to build. I mean, there are exceptions with elite genetics and of course some vitamin S and stuff that people take these days. That is a completely separate topic, but keep in mind that significant muscle growth takes time. Now, if your goal is fat loss, you will be seeing changes much quicker and you'll be seeing progress. So in 6 months, even though you're not going to look completely jacked, you will be lean, you will be a lot healthier, and you're going to look great. So if you're in those early stages of your journey, make it your primary goal to surpass yourself from the last year in every way possible, to look better, to be stronger, to be more educated about fitness, to further strengthen your healthy habits, so consistency is no longer an issue. Now, the fourth thing that we need to talk about is that what gets results in the real world and the real conditions is actually quite simple and repetitive. It's almost the exact opposite of what you see these days from fitness influencers on social media, where every piece of content is something new and revolutionary, where you have to implement these changes if you ever want to see results when it comes to your triceps or your biceps, new variations for your chest, or new way to burn belly fat. And there's people also convincing you that the reason you're not seeing results is because you're not buying their supplements, which is absolutely ridiculous. The reality is 90-95% or more of your results will come from following the same first principles. Making sure you're on top of your calories and macros. If you want to lose body fat, you need to create a calorie deficit. If you want to gain muscle and be in a lean bulk, you want to create a small calorie surplus, making sure you're eating a healthy diet, keeping a log of things so you know when to change and what to change, making sure you're progressing in the gym with your strength training, lifting 3 to 5 times per week, depends on what fits your lifestyle, getting in your steps, getting an adequate amount of sleep, managing your stress, and then improving those habits over time. There's nothing glamorous about these things. You want to pursue mastery and getting better at these things because that's what delivers results. And where I see a lot of people end up in trouble is they try to replicate what they see on social media and use that as their plan. So as soon as their favorite fitness influencer uploads, they're in the gym trying out a new routine without realizing that a lot of the content they're seeing is made for engagement and entertainment, not for getting the best results. And the further away you move from first principles, the worse results you're going to get. So it's okay to experiment, but make sure to keep that at 10 to 20% of the time, where that 80-90% of the time you're doubling down, you're mastering the first principles, you're getting into a good structure, being more scientific with those changes. You're testing whether things are working for you or not, and that also takes time. So your routine is going to look pretty similar day to day, week to week, month to month, but you don't want to fall into this influencer BS with this gimmickry all the time, because you're really gonna get stuck. So double down on the principles, master those, and you will see great results. The other thing that's gonna help you with results, making sure you subscribe to the channel below, hit that bell icon to have notifications. Details for coaching, if you wanna work with me on your fitness journey, are in the description below. Leaving another helpful video here for you at the end. So check out the video, and I'm gonna see you right there.